But let me ask you, Indy, I mean, I will let you answer.
Okay, I will answer.
Indy, let me ask you, do you really think that people are tired enough of the party in power? Because for a lot of people, they might say, this is what happens when a government comes into power newly, trying to settle down, and then you're also confronted with a plethora of challenges. Perhaps they underestimated the challenges that they were going to face when they took over power.
Not the people that I come in contact with. There's a certain level of poverty right now that is quite overwhelming.
What is the cause of that poverty?
Let me use an example of a man that stays near my house that sells, his name is Malam Abdullah, he comes from Jigawa State. He lost his son to meningitis, and he said that government officials took the immunization that was meant for the kids. Like, this is, I've seen it.
They didn't give it to the son?
That's what he said, according to him. What was meant for immunization was that the children actually expect immunization because of the heat in the north at a particular period of time, and then that they didn't get it last year in time for, so he lost his son. 2 of the children were ill and 1 died. So this is one-on-one. I know this person. I know a host of others who are like, okay, what is the PDP bringing forward? They're actually eager. Every day they ask these questions. And these are people that last election, they were very eager to go into the streets to galvanize. And they're looking for an option immediately. What are you people bringing forward? Who is it? Who is it? They're always asking names. I heard this person. Are you going to bring? And so this is a representation of what you'd find on the streets. We had a case the other day again in his state where children were coming back from school and didn't have food to eat, and so they climbed the tree and ate and got poisoned, about 40 of them. So you have these cases in the north. We're having increased rates of crime, we're having increased drug abuse. We're discussing that. These children are not just wayward. They're actually going through things, and they're depending on this to get through that. The north especially has not benefited from this government. And this is a government that people expected that, okay, at this rate they will. The North has not. And so this particular group of people are looking for, and we're not even talking about other places that were not even as, it did not give as much support to this government as the North did. This is what we hear Northerners saying. The Middle Belt, same thing. South-South, of course, South-East, you know what to expect. So this is not the case at all. People
so you think that you have sufficient dissatisfaction?
Yes. When we get to the point where, look, this week alone, how many people have died?
Okay, let me ask you. You have watched what happened prior to the 2015 elections. I mean, there are people who say that for a party to be able to win power, there must be anger, there must be dissatisfaction. Do you see any difference in the level of dissatisfaction the Nigerians felt prior to the 2015 elections and what they currently feel now?
There's a serious build-up, very, very serious build-up. And just look at this newspaper. This is Northern Nigeria remains poorest region with 15 million youth on the street begging in the north. And that is the total number that produced the president, 15 million. And yet, majority of our people are not actually economically developed. So there's anger. But what is amazing to me is that there's so much sentiment in the air, probably with the belief, even though in the face of total hunger that is already facing everybody. Today, some people run away from their families because they cannot feed them. But yet, some people still believe that the government has something to give. With all of this particular story going back and forth, it's amazing. I really
a lot of people, you still get that people still believe that this government has something to give. Some people still believe, and you cannot run away from that. It's normal in politics that those, no matter how you try to convince them, they are already a sold product. And those who are already being realistic as regard to say, okay, this government has not done well enough based on the promises, the barrage of promises that he has made to the people. They are not delivering at all. They don't even have the concept, or even they're not even together as a people to even run a government. Indeed,
that's the big problem.
What would you say to the accusation? I'm sure that if we had an APC person here, the person would say that, your party cannot exonerate itself from the suffering, you call it, the hunger that is currently in the land, because every time the president speaks, he talks about how he did not meet anything, how he asked if there were savings, there was no savings. It's only recently we're beginning to see the forex reserves build up. Well, I understand that we'll have to continue. I'll give you time to answer the question when we come back from this break. Please stay with us.